Time to get real. I want to see some crazy whiz-biz.
What's the magnet made out of, ding-dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical!
You took my path.
Bacon pancake!
Welcome back to the show. This is WizBiz with Alexx and Erik, a podcast about Adventure Time and the occult. And I am Erik.
And I am Alexx.
And today we are going to be discussing Season 5, Episode 29, Sky Witch, and Episode 30, Frost and Fire.
These are facts.
These are facts. Yeah. So how you doing, Alexx?
I'm, as the Scandinavians say, I'm up and not crying. How are you?
I also am up and not crying. I guess I feel like this whole month has... Okay, I'm going to sound like I'm repeating, because last month I complained that last month was too busy, and this month is even busier, and I'm enjoying the stuff that I'm working on, but I'm also annoyed at how busy I am. And this week in particular, I had to write a lot of JavaScript, and that sucked.
Yeah. Did you ask ChatGPT to do it for you? I hear that's just what you do. No.
I did ask ChatGPT for help.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. It doesn't do... hold on, I'm going to open this beer. It doesn't always do like the best job with programming.
Yeah.
But it'll get you started. And, like one of the things I'll do with it is I'll be like, hey, I need a JavaScript library to do blah, 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 blah. And then it'll sort of suggest stuff and give little example code snippets that will help get you started. But they usually aren't complete or good enough to really do the job. But yeah, I absolutely use it to help speed up that process. Any day that you don't have to write JavaScript is a better day than a day where you do have to write JavaScript. And I'm sorry if there are any of our listeners out there who are like total JavaScript fan people, but you're wrong.
Does JavaScript have fan people? I feel like it's universally mocked every time I hear it come up.
I feel there's a subset of JavaScript called TypeScript that people really like. One of the things that's really annoying about JavaScript is that the culture of the developer base involves like all of these, like just a huge network of like interconnected like third-party modules and open source libraries and stuff, and they all seem to think that it's super cool for their like APIs to just sort of change, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, this is a breaking change, you're sorry that everything is automatically updating and your software is broken now, or sorry that an example from 3 months ago doesn't work anymore. And it's like, it's just constant. It's like every time you start a JavaScript program, start working on one, you just have to think to yourself, okay, how frustrating is it going to be to include all of these libraries and stuff, blah. But I do have some cool news. But
all right.
I'll ask you a question first. Hey,
Sure.
Alexx.
Hi.
I already asked you how it's
You
going.
did.
Like,
You did.
tell me some stories. Like, how was your birthday?
It was fine. Thank you for asking.
You're 35 now again.
Yes, I'm 35 again. No, I hung out with a couple friends and we had some booze and yeah, nothing too exciting.
Uh-huh. Cool.
I'm not like a big birthday celebrator.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed your birthday celebrations in the past. I've been to a few of them. I thought they were pretty fun.
Yeah, but it's mostly just like the same thing we would do on a regular night. Just maybe one more person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started making YouTube videos.
Yes, you told us about this last episode.
But I hadn't released it yet last episode.
Oh, so yes, you have released a YouTube video now.
Yes, I've released a YouTube video, and I have a second one that I'm currently working on. But yeah, so I released a YouTube video. I thought it worked pretty well. I mean, I have a lot to learn. One of the things that I did is I So I've been using, Reaper to edit podcast stuff, and Reaper is also a video editor, which is a little crazy, but
Reaper does video editing?
yes, Reaper does video editing.
Oh, I don't think it did when I ran it. I mean, that was a decade
I
ago at
think
this
they
point. Yeah.
started doing video in version 6.
Yeah.
And now they're on version 7. So I
Oh,
think
yeah,
it's
that's
still
long before after I'd use it. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean there's like a whole new learning curve and stuff. I'm sure I've complained about that already, but I did get a collection of like presets and effects that came along with like a series of tutorials about how to do cool things with Reaper. So I've been playing around with that and learning a bunch of new stuff. And so I think that my next video will probably start a series of like, experiments with like wipe transitions and things that spin.
Yeah. Star wipes
see.
as far as the eye can see.
Yeah. And maybe, I don't know if I'm able to do it, but maybe I'll add some lens flare. I'm sure there's a lens flare filter somewhere.
Yeah. What I would recommend is just go watch the original Star Wars and just use every single cheesy wipe you see. I think that's the...
when I think of wipes, it's Star Wars that comes to mind for sure.
It's one of the wipiest movies that's ever been around.
Yeah, which is great because everybody likes a clean bottom, and the way you get that is a combination of wipes and bidets.
Yeah, and power converters from Tashi Station.
Yeah. Although I guess I'm sort of thinking that maybe the ultimate bidet would be like the Death Star. Maybe. Yeah. Blowing up the Death Star is the bidet.
Or like the giant death ray that they used to blow up Alderaan. That's actually like a really advanced like Japanese bidet where it uses like laser technology to clean around your ring. Yeah.
Do you think that the Death Star has a self-cleaning mode?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. That's what that pit that the Emperor falls in at the end is the self-cleaning mode. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it certainly cleaned the galaxy of emperors. That was
until he came back a few movies later.
They should have double tapped that Death Star.
Well, I mean, they kind of did. They did blow up 2 of them over the course of 3 movies.
They double tapped the Death Star, but yeah, and I mean, there was no way to recover the Emperor's body in that explosion.
Yeah.
You might remember the who was it that did those movies? Was it J.J. Abrams?
He did the first and third one.
Okay, so you might remember them better than I did. What was the explanation for the Emperor surviving?
It was literally somehow Palpatine returned.
That's it?
So, okay, the actual explanation was basically he was on a planet called Exegol, which he's been doing experiments in like immortality and longevity. He had a bunch of like clone bodies. And he sent his consciousness using the dark side of the Force into one of his clone bodies. Is like kind of the vibe. It's something circling that. It's not I don't want to say clear. It's not well written. Is what's happening.
Okay, I have a fan theory right now that I suspect has probably been put forward by some others. Do you follow the Star Wars TV shows that happen on?
Yeah.
So, in Mandalorian and in Bad Batch.
Yeah, that's the working theory. Oh, sorry, you should say it out loud before we go there.
Oh, well, in The Mandalorian and in Bad Batch, there's all this stuff where they're trying to like capture these special people. Like, in the Bad Batch, it's a special clone, and in The Mandalorian, it's the baby Yoda, and trying to figure out how to clone them in order to like replicate their force wielding powers or their force capabilities.
Yeah, their M count. Yeah.
Their M count, which everybody knows is midichlorians.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, that's the working theory, is that's him trying to either breed a new body, or there's another thing where he wants to be a force dyad unto himself and basically become like a god.
Well, I mean, best of luck to him, I guess. I mean, obviously he succeeded at some point, and I don't know if that just spells doom for Grogax. What's the baby Yoda's name?
Grogu.
Grogu and
Din Djarin. Yeah.
And then what's the kid? Omega. Grogu and Omega.
Yeah.
Omega. Yeah. So that's cool. All right. Well, this has been our podcast about Star Wars. So I guess on to the episodes, huh?
Correct.
Season 5, episode 29, Skywitch.
Skywitch. We open with Princess Bubblegum in bed wearing my t-shirt. So I own this t-shirt that she has.
Yeah.
And I've worn it a bunch.
Uh-huh.
I think I've had one person vaguely recognize it and kind of give like a nod, but never had a conversation, which I was surprised by because I feel like Adventure Time nerds would be excited and go, "Oh, we need to talk about that." Didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, world out there, slightly disappointed in you.
Have I seen the t-shirt?
Probably.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, when watching this episode, I recognized the t-shirt from before, probably because we're paying more attention now when we watch. So I have a question. When you got that t-shirt, did it come sort of like pre-worn by a sexy vampire?
I mean, in my headcanon, yes.
Okay, that's good. I trust your headcanon.
I mean, vampires do smell like a factory run by enslaved people in China.
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, if they do, then yeah, it smelled exactly like a vampire.
Well, the thing that the opening shot with like that kitten alarm clock, I loved that. Like, I want one of those.
Oh yeah, was that an actual cat or was that just like a automaton?
It looked like an automaton. If
Okay.
it wasn't, then it was only half a cat, which is a little creepy.
Yeah, I didn't want to rewind. I was trying to figure out if that was like one of her weird things or like they just randomly, there's a cat there.
I think it was an automaton. It was like a cat robot because it was on like a big spring and it came down from a clock over her head.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, mutually exclusive in the world that we live in. That's not a real
That's
cat.
true.
I guess real cat probably isn't the right term, but that's not life.
Right. And of course, that T-shirt is the Marceline T-shirt.
Yeah.
And Princess Bubblegum is like overjoyed by the smell of it. And when she goes and like opens up the locker, there's like a picture of her and Marceline in it. And I'm kind of wondering, like, so in the episode "Memory of a Memory" with the Door Lord, it seems like something about the Bubbeline relationship was sort of hinted at, but this episode seemed to make it kind of obvious. Like, are they a thing at this point? Like, we never see them kiss on screen until very, very late.
They were a thing, and I think the Door Lord episode allowed them to be friends again, but at the moment of this episode, I don't think they're currently a thing.
Okay.
Because I think that's actually, I think there's another episode where that kind of breaks down, where they like start seeing each other again, like the one where they're under the city and like old like subways, and they find the graffiti they wrote together, and they like kind of rebond. I'm 1/5 remembering this episode.
Hey, I'm it's your headcanon. I enjoy what's going on there.
Well, it's not headcanon.
Sounds like
It's an episode of the show Adventure Time.
Unless you're making it up.
No. Like that is an episode that happened. The details are probably just slightly fuzzy.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the relationship develop more. I am always a fan of the Bubbeline thing, and there was an element of this episode. So like the Marceline PB team up, I really, really liked, and it kind of had the feeling of like a Batman and Superman team up, sort of. Where Princess Bubblegum has all of her science tricks and she's like the ultra detective, and then Marceline just goes in there and punches shit.
Yeah. And this is the episode we find out that Marceline's mom's name is Martha. And the gum that PB came from is also named Martha. It's Martha brand gum. So it's really, really good backstory. Really, really understood how they came together.
Yeah, it's definitely like their bonding moment was the Martha thing. And I've always appreciated, Yeah,
there's a great PB moment starting this episode where she's just trying to train her guards to, through the force of sheer willpower, to not fall asleep to sleeping guests, which is such a like that weird kind of hint of evil and German that PB is.
And the thing, and I was sort of like this episode. One of the things that's so great about it is Finn and Jake have no lines.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe their voice actors were like on vacation or something. Although probably not, because Maja, the evil witch, is played by Jill Talley, and that's Tom Kenny's wife.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got no working theory for that. Other than maybe they just like, hey, it'd be fun if we like didn't have our people in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, so Marceline shows up with that cool outfit with like the mirrored face and stuff, and
rocking some weird bangs. Her hair is a little interesting this episode.
yeah, it's not the best hair, but I mean, her original character design is it needed some work, so she's playing around.
She's in a trying period. Post breakup, just trying to figure out yourself. Get a new haircut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At first,
and
600 years after breakup are the roughest. Yeah.
Yeah. So this episode is sort of a continuation of the memory of a memory storyline, because Marceline is going after Hambo, her stuffed animal friend, and we know from Memory of a Memory that Ash, Marceline's evil ex-boyfriend, sold it to a witch named Maja. So the whole quest here is like they have to go to Maja's witch house and find Hambo.
Yeah. And I do enjoy the kind of background where normally PB the entire episode would be saying like, there's no magic, this isn't real. But she kind of just goes with it because she's with Marceline, which I thought was like a sweet little detail.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's a sweet little detail or if it's a inconsistency, because we just watched the Wizard City episode. Like that was just like a couple episodes ago, if it wasn't last episode. And all of a sudden PB has changed her whole tune and she's like, magic is here now. Witchery is real. Like, what's up with that?
No. She knows it's science. She's just not rubbing it in Marceline's face. Because she tested using like that ring that's like basically like some kind of like DNA tester. And she goes, oh, this is sleeping bramble or whatever.
Yeah.
So she sciences it. She just doesn't go, magic isn't real to Marceline because she cares for her and she's like respecting her position. Well, also, her dad is the devil, so kind of have to. But the point is, she's not doing that, well, Sagan said shit,
Yeah, and I guess there's a thing even when PB is diving into the water to get to Maja's house, she's like, "Oh, nice trick, Maja!" Like she just sort of sees through whatever the trick is, the illusion, and gets in there.
Which that's very on our remit of talking about occult stuff. That's very like kind of occult fae stuff of diving into diving into a reflective surface and coming out the other side at the other angle. It's very fae story, very liminal space kind of thing.
Yeah, I really liked that about it. And I liked there was also that sort of cool little detail where when they're trying to get through the bramble stuff, PB gives Marceline a mug of chamomile tea, and Marceline just sucks the color out of the mug and doesn't drink any tea, but that's still soothing enough that she can just sort of relax.
Was this a low-key reference to The Simpsons? That thing where Homer like melts into the shrub? That meme?
I think it's possible that it could have been. The wiki seems to think that it's a reference to something from Harry Potter, but I don't know very much about Harry Potter.
Yeah, there is a scene in Harry Potter. It's Venomous Tentacula, I think. I'm probably wrong about that.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a scene where they fall into it and you have to like relax and then or light it on fire.
Well, I feel like lighting on fire is always a good tactic for getting rid of brambles.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my experience. Like, I'm a big bramble burner. That's,
Why couldn't Marceline fly over the brambles?
Gravity? I don't know. I got no answer for that.
And I really liked Maja's house. I thought that was cool. Maja's a sky witch, but I thought her house was really cool. I loved all the stuff in there. The Crabbit is amazing.
The Crabbit is great.
Yeah.
Like the Crabbit being like what's it, a combination of crow and rabbit? Is that what we decided?
It's got to be, right? Because Maja gets mixed up about it later.
Yeah. No, it's just because PB calls it something else, another animal, but it doesn't matter. But I love that design. And then like at some point it just turns into like a kind of like furry wet dream of this like
Yeah.
yolk kind of
amazing
humanoid.
abs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Marceline totally kicks its butt. Yeah, but it's kind of fun because Maja is a pretty good threat to them. I mean, there are like two very powerful enemies that they have to face. I don't think Finn and Jake would have been able to handle this one.
Let me think about that. I think Jake would kick the shit out of the Crabbit. I think that's handled.
Uh-huh.
How do you think we do against Maja? I don't know. Maybe we gotta write to the. Maybe that could be a distant lands the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Finn usually prevails at some point. Just because he's the hero. So I'm sure they would have written something in there to make him prevail, but I didn't. But it was fun watching these two sort of team up and do it.
Yeah, no, it's a good team up episode. You always like that, and now that we're starting to get backstory, and it's also just good as the show progresses. Having episodes without Finn and Jake in it is nice. I mean, although they're our main characters and we love them, but it is nice to get a break because we had a BMO episode. We get a PB and Marceline episode. It's nice to like just kind of break away a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So some of the fun there are lots of like fun little side jokes when PB is like exploring the house and investigating what's going on, such as the Ford Broncos, which
yeah.
I think is a combination of the Ford Bronco and the Ford Focus.
Oh, I didn't even pick up that. I just thought they were making fun of the Ford Bronco, which I was like, oh, that's fine.
I mean, they could have been. I would make fun of the Ford Bronco. I had a Ford Focus.
Did you?
Yeah, I had the first model of Focus that came out. I think it was like in 2000 or 2001. I got one. It sucked.
Really?
I mean, it was a really, really cheap car. It was a sort of car where like you'd turn on the air conditioning and it would have trouble going up hills.
Oh wow! I don't know anything about cars. I've heard of Ford. That's about the end of my car knowledge.
I feel like you should know more about cars than I do because you have one.
Yeah, but I didn't like. I didn't have one for a really long time, and then I went on the internet and like, hey, internet, what car should I buy? And then I just listened to it.
But you got that car before ChatGPT, so you're saying the normal internet helped you?
Yeah, like back when Google, you could actually use it as a search engine, and you could use like Boolean operators to like refine your search.
Oh, that's an interesting period of time. I wonder if we have. So I think sometime in the future when people find this episode, we're probably going to have to like explain to Gen Alpha that Google used to be useful.
Yeah. It's like trying to explain what off-type press or whatever.
Yeah.
Offset. Whatever.
Offset.
Yeah, I was like, off-type isn't right, but I couldn't get the right word in my brain. Yeah. I don't use Google all that often, and I did the other day just out of it just happened, and the results are. I mean, it's shockingly trash. I mean, it's not even.
It is.
And like, I'm not being like, this is an exaggeration. It's trash. It's really shocking because Google used to be like the search engine, like especially if you knew how to like search, using operators. It was great.
I agree.
And it's not there anymore, and it's kind of amazing that it's gone. I don't even know how to I don't know how to react to it. And there's not like a good second place because like DuckDuckGo is good, but like DuckDuckGo sucks compared to old Google.
I agree. But I use DuckDuckGo. That's my main search engine now. Yeah. And then I have been using like Google Image Search, to search for images. But even that started to suck. Like it's all paid results at the top.
And a lot of AI garbage.
Yeah, a lot of AI garbage. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that one. I might just have to go. I mean, I use Google Image Search because I'm usually looking for public domain images, and so I just sort of depend on it to always send me to like, the few public domain image sites that I use. So now I think I'm just gonna have to go to those sites directly and skip the image search. Yeah. The problem is I always forget what they're called. I think Free Pixel might be one of them.
I mean, if only there was a search engine that you could find it, but unfortunately not.
And it's apparently that doesn't exist anymore. I'm gonna have to maybe make bookmarks. Do you remember bookmarks?
Yeah. I used to get them at the Scholastic Book Fair.
I mean, in your browser.
Yeah, something like that. At some point, PB is trying to search through Maja's house, and she says, "Micro and macro, the picture becomes clear." I feel like that's an as above, so below, but the science way reference.
Yeah,
This
I
is
feel
very
like
much
it
he's
is.
doing the science version of magic, and yeah, that just kind of popped out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I also like that there was that box called My Privates. That was
Yes.
pretty fun.
Yeah, and of course there's receipts, which I knew that Cranch wouldn't respect my proof of purchase. I love the term Cranch. That's fun.
Yeah, I think that overall, like, I enjoyed the team up, as I already said, but I think that this episode had a very like folklore feel to it. The exploration of the witch's house, the confrontation with Maja's sort of like big simmering cauldron, and her familiar that's like a crow. Like, there was a lot of stuff that felt like kind of callbacks to folklore, and I really appreciated that about it. It felt sort of maybe not as interesting and occulty as we always look for, but it definitely contributed to that feel in Adventure Time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit like with the object having more desire in a spell if it's got like emotional attachments. That's that's directly at least kind of chaos magic style. You're imbuing the sigil or the thing you're burning to make your spell work better. So there's a little bit there, and yeah, I do like that. This is our first run in with like traditional witchcraft. Which
For sure.
I always
sympathetic
like
magic
because I'm a weirdo, and I've dated a lot of bisexual girls, so like I know a lot about traditional witchcraft.
Yeah, and that sort of that's also sort of like part of the sympathetic magic. I don't know if it would really count as sympathetic magic, because if it was sympathetic magic, Maja would be sort of using it to attack Marceline or like directly, but it's not. It's the emotional energy that's sort of built up in Hambo that's important. And then the fact that the trade is for the T-shirt indicates that there is a lot of like really, really strong emotion tied up there.
Yeah.
Between PB and Marcy.
Yeah, I felt bad for PB there, like giving up that like such a profoundly important object for her for something that she thinks is silly, like the Hambo thing, but she knows Marceline finds it important. But yeah, it's nice. Mean, it's self-sacrifice. It's one of the few kind of redeeming PB moments we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, does it count as self-sacrifice though if PB's a sociopath and doesn't really have any feelings for the shirt, really?
I mean, probably not, but I feel like it would be a hard argument, even for me, a person that barely believes in emotions, certainly not positive ones, that like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like, this is legit. Like the first thing she does is wake up in the morning and smell the shirt. I mean, that's hard to believe that that's some kind of a like empirical process that's happening.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so the shirt, I don't think the shirt shows up again. I think it all gets consumed in the big potion.
The shirt does show up again.
Oh, really? So I know Maja shows up again.
Yeah, Maja casts a spell against them, and the shirt's referred to as why the spell's so powerful.
Oh, so it is sympathetic magic.
Yeah, I mean, that's my memory of it, but that's one of those episodes I haven't seen in a really fucking long time, so I might be combining two into one, but I think that's what happens. It was a little bit down the road,
that'll be in season 6, so we'll wait and see. That'll be fun to find out. Yeah. Anything else about this episode from you?
No. It's just a fun episode. There's not a lot of everything's on the surface. It's not like there's some there's not too much like kind of subtle stuff.
Yeah, I'm enjoying. Yeah, I think it's an important plot mover. Yeah, I agree. That's how I feel about it too.
Yeah.
Well, which leads us then to the other really important question of the night. Alexx, do you have any shiny rocks?
I had no idea that's where this was going. Let me look. Yeah. Okay. So I have. I'm going to send you something in the chat here because there's a visual aid.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Ulexite? Ulexite?
No.
So
I don't think I have.
It's called the television stone or the TV stone. So it's
Yeah?
a mineral and it's got like the way that the crystals form. They form in long tubes and essentially make fiber optic fibers. So you hold it above paper, and you're not looking through it. The image is transmitted through the stone.
What the hell?
Yeah, Eric's looking at a thing like, we can maybe
That
put a
is
link in the
amazing.
write-up. Yeah, it's crazy. I've never heard of this before. There's like multiple ways to do it where you can shape the stone and like it ends up being magnified, but it almost looks like a hologram. So it's not like it's not magnified. It's not transparent. It's like this other
like
thing. It literally is
projected. It like shows up on the face of the stone.
Yeah, so I found it on the Reddit subreddit Black Magic Fuckery, which is it's definitely Black Magic Fuckery.
Yeah, that is really cool. And I guess that's literally a shiny rock.
Oh yeah, true. I actually didn't think about that. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Yeah. I have one more thing for you, shiny rock.
Okay.
And this isn't like this is just etymology that I didn't know. The word outrage is not etymology. Say that word.
Etymologically.
Thank you. I know how to say it. My mouth was not doing it. It was not is not the word he just said related to the words out or rage. Both those words have nothing to do with the word outrage.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Tell me more.
So it is from the Latin ultra tecum, which means excessive.
Praticum.
And then it goes through the Old French to outrage, and then you see how we get to outrage in
Crazy.
English.
So it's not related to out or rage.
Nope, neither of those words have anything to do with outrage. And when I read that today, I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. Yeah. So it comes from Latin excessive through the Old French into us. Yeah.
So I have a question for you then. Is there a word that describes that sort of like false etymology or tricky etymology? There is.
It's called folk etymology.
Folk etymology.
Yeah,
Yes.
F-O-L-K.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I didn't hit that L very hard.
But okay, yeah, and I've run into folk etymology before, but folk etymology is people just making shit up. What about when
folk etymology when an assumed origin impacts the usage, spelling, and pronunciation of a word is the linguistic version of folk etymology.
Oh, okay.
According to this one thing I found that I didn't research, but that actually sounds really correct to me. But anyway, yeah, so it's actually related to like outrageous, not being outraged, not out enraged. So like an outrageous outfit is like an excessive outfit.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Okay, I hadn't really considered that before.
That's outrage, folk etymology, and eulexite.
Cool. Well, thank you. Those are some good shiny words. I really, really would love to have a little lump of eulexite to look at comics through or whatever.
Yeah,
just as a party trick.
If I ever see it at one of the random rock stores I end up going into, which is way too frequent, I'll see if I can find some for us.
Awesome. Episode 30, Season 5, Episode 30, Frost and Fire. This episode is kind of an episode about wet dreams, except there's fire.
Yeah, it's an episode about burning your crotch in a semi-erotic dream about your elemental girlfriend. And it's also an episode about, pubescent people. They be dumb.
Yeah.
They do dumb shit.
Being dumb, yeah, letting puberty make you really stupid. It's also an episode about how Finn is not very good with relationships, which is okay because he's like 14 or 15 right now.
He's young and stupid and thinking with his dream fireplace.
Yeah,
this is also kind of momentous that this somewhat, there's a little bit more of her as a valid character, but this is really, we're ending Flame Princess being a worthwhile character on the show.
Yeah, after this, I think that, we're going to get into the Flame Princess that dates Cinnamon Bun and does freestyle rap.
And because there's some good episodes left where like the fallout of this, but then it really turns into it's just embarrassing and they're not even that bad of episodes. It's just like this was a good character and then it turned into that.
Yeah, I am very much disappointed with what happens to Flame Princess as a character. And it's interesting that I feel like I feel like there's got to be like a lot of weird symbolism kind of wrapped up in Flame Princess as Finn's girlfriend, who is literally kind of an untouchable person, right? Like she's too hot to touch.
I mean, I agree with you, but I can't think of what that would mean, actually.
Yeah, I'm not
it does. Like, you're right. That
certain
sounds
either.
true, but I actually can't figure out what that actually would mean.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. It definitely sort of. I mean, okay. Here, how about this? So at this point, Finn is almost the last human. We know that Susan Strong is around.
Yeah.
And basically, he doesn't have success with relationships. I mean, except not counting Pillow World, where he, fucks a pillow and has pillow babies.
Yeah.
But, he JD, what's
JD Vance. Yeah.
he JD Vances that world hard.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he falls in love or gets crushes on, unobtainable women, and even when he dates Flame Princess, like they can't really be together. It's weird. And
Well,
also,
I would say
so when
sorry, just a quick reminder, because as the dissolution of the relationship kind of happens in this episode, okay, they can fuck if they want to. We've literally seen a fucking spell that you can interact with fire elementals. You turn blue. We've seen it multiple times work on multiple characters. So this is extra level stupid.
we've even seen Flambeau there with Finn and
Yes.
Flame Princess when Flambeau still doesn't cast protection from flame.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it that he's stupid and 14 and thinking with his not with his brain, but
Yeah.
come on, dude. Like, you've seen, come the fuck. Like, if I was young and it's like, oh, my girlfriend's, I'm allergic to her skin, and you also happen to see the guy down the street that's got a body condom on every day because he's allergic to stuff, and you oh no, I've never put these two thoughts
like
together.
immediately, I'd be
why,
like,
why
oh.
would I ever? Fucking idiot.
I gotta go get a pack of those.
Yeah, idiocy.
So when I was watching this episode at first, and Finn had his first dream where he was all like excited about the fire, my first thought was like, it wasn't then. It was afterwards when hold on. Let me back up a little bit. Finn's reaction to Flame Princess and Ice King fighting led to that dream. And my first thought was like, wait, does Finn have a weird, are we going to have to talk about kink in this episode?
I mean, not everything's kink. You can just get turned on by watching people fight.
Does that happen?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I don't personally get turned on by watching people fight.
Oh,
I
really?
don't think.
Eric, why do you think I treat you like this? I'm constantly just cranking off under the desk.
I was wondering why the green screen was shaking so much. I thought you just had like a ghost.
Oh, no. That's where I keep my victims.
Oh.
They're behind the screen. Yeah. I probably shouldn't say that live on air. Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. But then I did kind of realize, like, oh, this is just a wet dream. Like he's having a wet dream. But Cosmic Owl is there. Okay, I have a question. I have I feel like there's an inconsistency in Cosmic Owl right now, because when Cosmic Owl is first introduced, we are told, or Jake tells us, that if the Cosmic Owl shows up in your dream, that's a croak dream. It's a dream of how you're going to die.
Yeah, we talked about this. I think what we landed on, and I'm not saying we were right, but what we landed on is, if Cosmic Owl shows up in a dream about you croaking,
then it's a croak dream.
Then it's a croak dream, and because he's there, it is real. I think the
Right.
Cosmic Owl thing is that Cosmic Owl being there makes the dream prophetic. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
okay,
that it's a croak
right.
dream. It's just that it's more important that it's a croak dream,
Right.
because you have to be worried about being dead.
So the thing that happens in this episode is Cosmic Owl shows up and Finn can't hear what he's saying, and Jake's like, "Oh my god, you have to recreate the situation so you can have that dream again. You have to be able to finish that dream."
Yeah.
So there's an element in here where Cosmic Owl's appearance freaks out Jake and causes the bad thing to happen.
Oh yeah, but that's we can't go down that road. That ruins every Greek myth and movie about time travel. Like it just
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of a classic element in things like this, in interpreting omens and listening to dreams and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's like one of the. It's
You
like
ran
one of
away
the
from home
themes
so you
of,
don't
like,
kill your dad and fuck your mom, and then it turns out that's the
Right.
exact reason you ended up killing your dad and fucking your mom. Yeah.
Yeah, or like like every single thing having to do with like the Oracle of Delphi, where there's just
Yeah.
constant misinterpretations of
Or the Oracle from
of-
the Matrix, where she's like,
the
the
Oracle
real
from
head
the
scratcher is, would it have broken if I didn't say anything?
Oh, yeah.
I know that movie
Wait,
a lot
so-
better than I know Greek stuff.
So does it turn out that there is a spoon?
Yeah, objectively there is a spoon. That's actually the point of the fourth movie.
The fourth movie.
They're
All
like,
spoons.
we're gonna film this for $5 on cheap digital, and the entire movie's called Spoon. That movie's blue. I don't know if you saw the fourth one. It's real shit.
No, that's the new one, right?
Yeah, it's
where everybody's
terrible.
old.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Real bad. Actively shit. Yeah.
I mean, I also have not seen Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner 2049 is great. It's the guy that did Dune.
Oh, the French dude,
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure that's him. Wait,
Okay, well, yeah.
I'm
it's
gonna
on
look
my
it up
list.
while you say other things.
All right. So, Flame Princess, like one of the things that we are reminded of in this episode is that Flame Princess is terrifying. Like she is basically like dating Flame Princess is like dating an atomic bomb. You don't really get to make her mad.
And she gets
Like-
mad for no fucking reason. So like the inciting incident is Ice
That
King is
letter.
flying over them,
Yeah.
and he makes fun of them, saying they're weird because she's hugging a log.
Yeah. Which is
That's-
not a reason to freak out.
That is not. I could see being slightly upset by that, but that is not a reason
Yeah.
to go full Holocaust. I'm going to attack
really
another
isn't.
elemental. Like that is not. This
Yeah.
is not wisdom. This is not clear thinking.
I mean, honestly, if you're dating somebody and that's their reaction to being made fun of, that's a huge red flag, and you should probably do something about that relationship.
Yeah, and keep her the
out of it.
fuck away from season 1 of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, definitely. My log has something to say to you.
Yeah. What did you say? Dale Cooper just turns into a cauldron of black smoke and destroys her.
I think the fights between Ice King and Flame Princess are fun, but I think it's important to remember that Ice King isn't the elemental. He's a powerful
No,
ice
but he's
wizard.
like the avatar of the element. Doesn't that make
No,
him an
no,
elemental?
he's not. No, it's that lady who shows up in the
No,
Elements
she's the one from the previous
story.
generation.
No, she's still the elemental.
Oh, I thought the deal was because in the past it wasn't somebody else with the crown was the snow elemental.
No, the person with the crown isn't the elemental. Isn't the elemental. The person with the crown is just a powerful ice wizard.
I thought the ice
insane.
wizard with the beard was the elemental, like in
I don't
the
think so.
flashback episodes, the one with Gunther, the original Gunther.
I don't think so.
It doesn't
but
really matter.
I
Yeah. No, I
really
mean,
do think I could be wrong.
the
But,
point is, by the definition
yeah.
of an elemental, yeah, he is not. I was just using that term
He's not the
because
elemental.
he takes the place of it in our story.
He does. Yeah, and so I mean, this is definitely like a clash between two of the four major elements, and I mean, it's horribly destructive. Like the amount of damage that they do to the Ice Kingdom is staggering. Like so much of the Ice Kingdom is melted.
Yeah, and his
I guess
hams.
it's gonna-
Don't go past his hams.
And his hams, his poor
Yeah.
hams.
But,
I mean,
but then you got fireproof Grundies, so everything's good.
I love the fire. I wrote that one down too. Fireproof Grundies. I was kind of disappointed that this episode didn't have any BMO in it. I think that there was definitely room for at least a little moment of BMO, but you can't win them all.
Yeah, we didn't get BMO, but we did get a random PB watches something and then screams stuff in German for no reason, which is a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I love that too. This is the first time she's spoken German in quite a few episodes.
Yeah.
And I was a little disappointed because the German wasn't awesome. Like, what she supposedly said was "Ach, mein Glob," but when I heard it and I went back and listened to it again, she didn't say "mine" correctly, And it took me a little while to be like, what the hell is she saying? And then finally I was like, okay.
Oh, I heard the mine sounded fine to me. It sounded like she was saying gloob, which didn't sound very German. Now that you said it, I'm like, oh, that's the word they're
it's
going
supposed
for.
to be, yeah, I think it was supposed to be glob. But yeah, it was funny. The mine is the one that stuck out to me.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, that
I heard
read
it,
on
I
my
wrote
TV
it down.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, this doesn't. Is that? I know that's supposed to be German, but what the hell did she say? But yeah, like it's kind of crazy that so Finn. I think one of the things that I enjoy about him as a character is he's flawed. You know, he's a kid. He's flawed. Even as a grown up, when we see him later, he's flawed. But in this episode, like once he realizes that he's fucked up, he does do what he can to fix it. And when he realizes how badly he's fucked up, he does, admit what he's done wrong, and he says it to both Ice King and Flame Princess. And I don't think he necessarily understands until the very end the amount of betrayal that happened, with what he said in those letters.
I don't even think he even understands at the end. I think he just understands that she got hurt. I don't think he actually understands why she got hurt, because not to a spoiler, but there's a follow-up to this episode where it becomes kind of clear that Finn actually doesn't know what was wrong about the situation.
Interesting. Okay, well, then I will wait and watch that. I mean, I know that, like, the breakup takes, like, 3 or 4 episodes to really resolve.
Yeah. I have a pretty firm memory of one being, like, him not getting why that was a betrayal. Like, I think he understood that he did wrong, but, like, he didn't understand, like, why that was so horrible.
Yeah, and I think part of that is sort of Finn's innocence. Like, he doesn't necessarily believe in secrets and lying very much.
Yeah.
Well, lying, he totally lies, but he doesn't really believe in secrets as a valid way of protecting information. Like, I think he really wants the truth to be out. I think that's sort of part of one of his core principles. So he doesn't, I don't think he understands, like, the embarrassment that Flame Princess might feel, or the desire that she has to keep those sorts of things secret.
Yeah, because he doesn't understand also that she's trying to hold back her, horrific nature, and him fucking with it is not great.
Oh man. Well, I mean, that huge explosion at the end that, like, destroyed so much of the Ice Kingdom, like, that was bad. And
yeah, but I mean, it's whatever. It's ice. It can be rebuilt pretty quick. I mean, the guy's a fucking ice magician. It'll take,
how much
20
of it
minutes?
was ice. Like, there's no mountain under those icy peaks.
I mean, every time
like,
we see them go down into it, it's just more ice.
It just melts. Yeah. Well, there's that point where Flame Princess gets, like, flung, and she, like, melts her way all the way through a mountain. I mean, I guess she could melt through stone probably, but I feel like it would take longer.
Yeah. Well, she's pretty hot. Yeah.
She is pretty hot. But I love that Ice King has that line where he's like, "Carry me like a princess."
Yeah. Also, there's another moment in here where she gets covered in snow and he's like, "But Flame Princess, you're just lukewarm." Again, I'm not saying right now this is not the opportunity to kiss this girl, but, like, you must have known this was an option. Like, I'm not saying you douse her every time, but, like, there has to be a happy medium between 3rd-degree burns and her dying. Like, some, like...
Yeah, and she says she's going to be fine. She just needs to burn down a few forests.
Yeah, so, like, maybe, like, just give her a spritz, and then you can, like, have a little makeout session.
Yeah. I mean, Finn's a dumbass.
Yeah, I just feel like he didn't put in the work.
He really didn't. Oh my god, I totally forgot. There is a little bit of BMO in this episode.
I couldn't remember if that was this one or not. One of them I remember BMO had, like, a little in front of camera thing. I just couldn't remember what episode it was.
I don't think BMO has a line, but Finn at some point is like, "BMO, put on, sleep noise or sleep jam."
That's exactly when he's drinking milk. BMO's right there. Yeah.
But BMO, I don't think BMO has an actual line, just plays white noise.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah.
But there's also so Cosmic Owl finally shows up in the final dream and it just tells Finn, "You blew it."
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like it was heading in that direction the whole time. I think maybe Cosmic Owl knew that Flame Princess and Finn weren't necessarily meant to be together. Or I don't know. I don't even know how the hell Cosmic Owl works, but it was something, I think, along those lines.
Yeah, and then he says in the dream you blew it, and then Ice King in real life says you blew it, which that's gotta hurt real bad if Ice King's aware enough to see how bad you fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
That's gotta be an ouchie.
Yeah. I really like this episode. I enjoyed the elemental interplay sort of thing, you know, the clash of frost and fire, and seeing like, it was funny, you know, Flame Princess was basically just a brute, just all out wailing on Ice King. And Ice King had to be sneaky. Ice King, you know, had to make shields and had to, you know, have his snowmen, you know, sneak up behind her and stuff. Like, he was obviously outmatched. But it's just sort of, I always find it interesting how, like, Ice King is cunning. You know, he's insane, but he's not necessarily dumb.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I disagree with that, but I don't know if I agree with that. Cunning doesn't feel right to me, but I also don't have a cogent argument against it, so let's go with it.
Well, I wanted to say clever, but I feel like clever involves a certain level of intelligence that Ice King doesn't possess. But maybe clever is the right word?
I don't know. Like, he's not a dumbass. I'll give him that. I'll leave that there. Yeah.
I have it. He's creative.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, there you go.
He's creative.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
And his creativity is frequently expressed in the way he uses his powers or the plans he comes up with. But frequently those plans are pretty stupid. But like, yeah, okay, all right, creative. That's the word. That's the word. I wanted it, and I'm using it, and that's what I'm applying to Mr. King, Ice King.
He did have a cool his Legion of Snow Warriors, which didn't work out, but it was creative.
Well, it did work out. Excuse me.
Well, yeah, one did. I just mean the Legion aspect did not work out so well. Since they were all created so bad that they fell apart almost immediately. Yeah.
He definitely had like that one snow hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably the two occult themes in this episode that I really liked are Cosmic Owl. My throat is all like... Okay, I'm good. The two occult themes that I really liked in this episode are Cosmic Owl as the sort of prophecy bringer, or the prophecy... You know, I mean, the whole thing is sort of driven by a dream oracle, kind of like the fulfillment of a dream oracle. I really liked that. And then the elemental clash. And we've talked about the elemental thing over and over and over in this show. Cosmic Owl we will get to revisit again in the future, which I'm excited about. Yeah,
and he's associated with Prismo, one of the best characters we haven't really hung out with yet.
Yeah. Oh no, we had Prismo. We already
but
did
not
the
much,
whole...
right? We had like just the one episode that he's not like a regular yet.
We had the Farm World thing.
Yeah, there was just one episode, right?
There were like 3.
Oh, was he in all 3? I only remember that one bit.
Yeah. There was a lot of Prismo. So, but we'll get more of him too.
Yeah.
And then
that's all I got for that one. Yeah.
Me too. So our final segment, the one that we always forget to do, who won? Who won the episode?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only answer is that last Snow Warrior Golem.
I'm going to vote for BMO. This is one of those few episodes where we get to vote for BMO, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I feel like you're diminishing BMO by even suggesting that he can be a minor character.
Well, I think that Snow Warrior had way more of a role than BMO. I feel like that Snow Warrior might have done too much stuff and maybe disqualified himself. But we could pick the Snow Warrior who just sort of like came out of the snow and their head fell off.
Yeah. I'm fine with disrespect. Let's go with BMO.
Okay, BMO. BMO wins!
Yeah, congratulations, BMO.
We need, I wish I had a BMO sound effect. Oh, wait, I do have a BMO sound effect. Somewhere. Hold on. I'm going to play it. It's one of these.
Ooh, butt stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
All right. Congratulations, BMO. You are a winner.
Yes, congratulations, and good job on the butt stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's about it. Do you have a call to action for our listeners?
Yes, I would like you to, if you are on Blue Sky, to go to Blue Sky and find us. We're WizBiz Podcast over there. And if you have the ability to tell a friend about us, do that. Like,
Yes.
spread the word, or like hit a, if you're on a social media platform, tweet or not tweet, whatever. Be like, hey, this is a good show, and then send a link. Spread the gospel of this weird show.
And my call to action is follow us on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At WizBiz
Why
Podcast,
not?
you can. Yeah,
WizBiz Podcast. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not going to hurt you. We're certainly not going to clog your
won't.
feed. Yeah.
Definitely not. All right. Well, thanks everybody. This is a great episode. I hope you're having a great time. Enjoy some adventure time. Hang out with your friends. Do the things that we told you to do.
Yes. Good evening.